Hey, ¿qué pasa, Calexico? Welcome back to the podcast. Like always, before we begin, I want to thank my sponsors, my anchor sponsors, Jake and Sergio. Thank you guys for sponsoring this episode. Also, if you want to become a sponsor, make sure you go and check out my Facebook page. I'll put a link up there if you want to become a sponsor of the podcast. And also, I want to thank Patty and Golden Dragon for allowing me to record today's episode here. Make sure to stop by and taste their delicious Chinese food. And today's guest is one of the hardest working women in the Valley. She's always everywhere and helping, our community. She's not only one of the co-founders of the Brown Bag Coalition, but she's also an activist. She fights for a lot of, rights. It's complicated, but that's part of something that I admire that you do, that you're always voicing your opinion when it comes to women's rights, the homeless and stuff like that. So today's guest is Maribel Padilla. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for inviting me.
I know it took me a while, but I want to apologize, but you're so busy. Whenever I would want to contact you, I would see that you were getting some prize, some yeah. award, or you were putting up an event, and I don't want to take time away from that. You just had your Thanksgiving event, so right. That was a good time, like a little break in between that event and your posada. But before we get into the meat and potatoes, tell us a little bit about yourself before Maribel BBB, before Brown Bag Coalition.
Before Brown Bag Coalition, I was just a regular person, regular citizen in Calexico. Nobody knew who. Well, I was with I am with the class of 82. Okay, yeah. So they knew me through the class of 82 and stuff. And but very low key. People started noticing me is when I went to the city council and started complaining about the current situation with the police department. And that's how people started to know me more. They knew I was outspoken, but they didn't know how much till I got to the council and told them off and stuff. And so that's when people started saying, okay, now I was more visible when people knew more about me. You either hate me or you love me. Yeah. One of the two. There's no in between. So it's always like, okay, when somebody says, oh, tú eres la Maribel, and I'm like, oh my goodness, which one is it? You're going to hate me or love me? Yeah. I get both. So. But so back then you were just, regular citizen that would basically go out and, voice your opinion whenever you felt like you needed to. So what year was it when you started the Brown Bag Coalition? Well, what happens is when in 2012 with the class of 82 we had a reunion, and so after the reunion in November, we wanted to keep the group wanted to stay together because we had been fundraising for 2 years, and so we met every month, and so they said, well, we want to do something. So then
I'm sorry to interrupt, but the class of 82 would gather funds and donate it to.
Yeah, that's what we started doing when after our reunion. So, we're Calexico class of 82. And so after the reunion, we decided to do something for the community because we wanted to stay together and meet every month as a group. Okay. And then we said, okay, well then if we're going to do that, let's do something for the community. So we adopted Rodriguez Park to clean it for 2 years. And so for 2 years, every month, we would go clean Rodriguez Park. After we cleaned, we would head over to Border Park and take burritos to the homeless. So that's how this started knowing the homeless. And we did with the class of 82, we did little Christmas, breakfast. We usually did the breakfast and stuff. And so it was once a month. And then in 2014, we had that freeze in December. And so I got an alert on my phone, and then they went on TV, and and everybody was saying bring in your pets, wrap your pipes, and cover your plants and all this. And so I went on Facebook and I said, who takes care of the homeless? Who brings them in? Who wraps them and covers them? And so that Facebook post was just something like, pray for them tonight. It's going to be cold. Not thinking, not asking anybody for anything, And then Norma Aguilar, who is also class of 82 in our committee also, she had just gotten off the board of the school board. So she knew that in case of an emergency, the gym could be used as a shelter. And so she replied to my post on Facebook and said, I know about this. Let me talk to Superintendent Ambris. And then I said, okay, so let's see what we can do. So that was December 30th when I put that post. So December 31st, we're New Year's, it's holidays, everybody's gone and everything. She contacted Ambris, and then Ambris said, let me look into it and, talk it over with legal and, can we do it, whatever. And so because it was an emergency, because it was going out on the news and the radios and all that, and your texts and stuff, they agreed. But they needed somebody to take over the liability part of it. So we went to Neighborhood House with Mr. Ricardo Ortega. And we told them, okay, you know what? The school district's willing to lend us the gym, but we need somebody to take over the liability. And so he talked it over with his people, and then they said, okay, yes, we can do it. So within 4 hours of going back and forth, because now we knew we were going to have it, so we had to get cots. So Norma, contacted the Red Cross and got cots from them. Mr. Ortega contacted Border Patrol and got cots from them. And so within 4 hours, we had the shelter. We had the gym, for December 31st.
Yeah, it was at De Anza, right?
At De Anza, the De Anza Bullpup gym. And so I went back on Facebook and I said, okay, we have this, shelter. We need you guys, we need the community to bring, food, blankets, because all we had were the cots. And, so I thought, okay, they're going to bring stuff and whatever. Well, the community really stepped up.
Yeah.
I was shocked. People were coming in left and right, bringing food, and we're thinking it's going to be a one night thing. Right. And so Maria Ambris said, well, you know what? We're out for the holiday.
Yeah.
So you have 5 days till we go back to school. So I said, okay, we'll take the 5 days, and because people were bringing all this food.
Yeah.
I had to get rid of it, right? So I was like, okay, we'll do 5 days. And so we opened up on December 31st at 6:00 at night. And it ran from 6:00 at night to 6:00 in the morning. We would close it at 6 in the morning because we all needed to go to work and whatever, right? And so that night, which was New Year's Eve, what I did is I contacted Lalo Perez from LNA Shuttle, and he runs that shuttle here in Calexico and Industrial Center and all that. And I asked him, I said, hey, you know what? We need to go get the homeless. They don't know. They don't know about this shelter, right? And so can you pick me up at the gym? And then, I'll ride with you in the shuttle, and then we'll go pick him up at the park and go downtown and look for him. So he said, yeah. Well, on the way over to go pick me up, he picked up one elderly man and took him. So he was like our first person. And we called him Tata. We nicknamed him Tata. He was 86 years old.
Oh, wow.
And had all sorts of ailments. And, he was with a walker and all this stuff. And so he brings him. And so then I get on the shuttle, and then we go to Rockwood Park. We went to Border Park first. And so the people were like, okay, they had seen me because I had been going to go feed them burritos on the weekend. So some of them had seen me, and they kind of, okay, we know her, but still, homeless people don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
You're either a cop or the migra, is which one is it, and they don't want to be with you. And so I would tell them it's going to freeze. And then there was one woman, she was living inside the bathroom. And I told her, I said, you have to go with us. It's going to freeze tonight. No, I got all my stuff here. I don't want to move it. I said, I have a whole shuttle. We can put all your stuff in there. No, she wouldn't move. I'm going to lose my spot. And I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be cold. And she wouldn't go. So we had picked up 3 there because they were really hesitant. So then we went over by the Donut Avenue where they do the rest of them, right? So we stopped there, and I started telling them. And then one of them, there's always a leader or the one they trust or somebody they know. And so he came over and he goes, who are you? And why are you in the shuttle? And why are you trying to pick us up? And where are you taking us? And so I told him, I said, you know what? It's going to freeze. There's a shelter. We have food. You guys, it's a gym. You guys can take showers. Well, that kind of okay, we can take showers. That was the thing that brought him in because we told him, we're going to cut your hair. And at the time, Councilman Mandy Real was the one that cut their hair. And, and so they liked that part. So he, this person says, well, let me talk to them and see if I can get them to get on the bus. And then I said, okay. So he went back and he told them, okay, they have this, they have food, you're going to take a shower, it's going to be warm, whatever and stuff. And so we were able to get 12 people that night. 12 people
in total or
in total with initially for that night. And that man that helped me, he wasn't going to get on the bus. He was just getting the other on the bus. And so I told him, I said, you have to go too. And he goes, no. He goes, I'm going to stay on the street and then tell people to go over there and then whatever. I said, no, I mean, they're not going to go if you don't tell them. So go. And then he just didn't want to. And I said, okay, well, the bus ain't moving and I'm not leaving without you because it's like you got these people and you're going to be left behind and no. And then so he says, okay, well, then I'll go to the gym and check it out and see how it is. And then I'll come back and tell the other people. And I said, okay. So he did go that night, And so I took a picture of in the bus. I have pictures of them. And so that was New Year's Eve. And I left at midnight. And then there was two guys at right by the door was the coffee. Because they love the coffee, right? So I said, you guys want a New Year's hug? And so they're looking at me like, and my husband's with me, right? My husband's like, really? You don't know these people. They don't know you. You think they want a hug? I said, it's New Year's. Everybody wants a hug at New Year's, right? So I have a picture of that. I hugged them, And then one of them later, by doing all these years, I learned that he's a veteran. He's one of our veterans that's out there. And Peter is his name. And at the time, he gives me a hug. And then I see the initial guy, that had helped me out, and he comes like running from across the gym, like he sees me, I'm gonna give him a hug, and he scared me like, why are you running, you want a hug too or what, and then Peter gives me a hug and then gets his coffee and goes away. And then so the guy says, oh my God, he goes, I couldn't believe you were gonna hug him. And I said, why? Well, he's kind of like has issues, he has PTSD. He was in the one of these wars or something, and so he's got PTSD, and then it's like some psychosis and stuff, and so he doesn't, people don't usually, he's a loner, you leave him alone, and usually it's like Peter, and he goes, so then it's like, okay, leave him alone, give him his meal, and walk away. And he goes, what's up? Okay, we know he's in a good, place, and so we can talk to him. But I didn't know any of this. It was just a New Year's hug, right? Yeah. So he got scared because he thought, oh my God, he's going to go off on her and do something. And then he goes, I guess it's a good night. It's New Year's. He just wants a hug, right? So that was funny. So then you get to know them, So we thought, okay, 5 days. And then the Methodist church, the pastor at the time, came to me and says, you know what? We can move this to my church for 5 days. And because I need it by Sunday because that's when services are. So I said, I talked to Norma. I said, let's do another 5 days, and 10-day run is good, for something that I just posted on Facebook. Yeah. But in the meantime, I had already gone because I had always thought the city should step up. These are their citizens, right? Yeah. So I had gone to the council. We had to wait till the New Year so they would be back on the first meeting and stuff like that. So, and I remember I was so sick I couldn't even talk. And I went up there and I took the homeless with me. I took a whole bunch of homeless with me and I sat them in the front and then got those little things so they can hear. Yeah. Translation. And then so I got them from Rockwood Park and I said, come on, we're going to go to this meeting because they should step up and they should do something. And I was thinking, at least give a donation to, for the 5-10 days that we're going or whatever, right? Although I had asked them, you guys should put up a shelter for the rest of the winter. And I had asked for the old courthouse. And it's right behind the fire station. Okay. Because it wasn't being used. And so that's what I was asking for. So Norma went, and then Minister Ortega from the neighborhood house went. And we all got our 3 minutes and we all spoke. And I told them, I said, okay, you guys need to vote. You need to decide something, but you're going to tell them to their face because they're sitting right here in front of you. And they're like, and whether they vote or not, they're your constituents. So, And so, at that time, it was Castro, Kim, Mandy, Maritza, and Hodge, I think. And it's like nobody got along. They all fought, and they never came to a consensus, especially Kim and Castro. And so they actually did. The 5 of them said, okay, we're going to do this. And so that's what I had asked for that building. So then once we were going to do the 5 days, we were going to go to that building. And so when I went to go talk to the city manager at the time, it was City Manager Warren, I told him, I said, okay, what are we going to do? You're going to give me keys? What are we doing? And he says, once we went into that building and they looked at it, I guess who the inspector was, there was something structural that you couldn't go in there. You couldn't use it. And then so he says, well, because we had already, the council had already passed it and it was something we needed to do, I took an executive decision and I bought some army tents because he used to be in the army. He's a veteran. Okay. So he knew about these tents. He goes, I bought 4 army tents and we're putting them at the park. So he bought the tents, he chose the tents and he chose the location. We had nothing to do with it because I'm thinking we're going into that building. And then he says, the reason I bought the tents is because once you guys get out of it, next time we have like a major earthquake or something like that, and if any of the buildings, because look, they couldn't use the courthouse. He goes, those army tents are for the city to use, and stuff. So it's not like I'm giving them to you. It's the city. So I was like, well, I don't want, I didn't want them anyways. Yeah. What am I going to do with them? And then I said, okay. So then, of course, everybody's like, not in my backyard. So now you got the controversy because you're putting up, tents. And so some members of this community went and complained, to put it lightly. And they were all upset because it was going to be at the park. And, well, where do you want it? You're in front of the police station. That's like the perfect place. You got police presence right in front. If something happens, you got the fire station in case you need an ambulance or something. I thought it was a perfect choice, right? So then Warren says, you can have it for 45 days because you have to get out because after 45 days, they become squatters and then you have to evict them. So in order to avoid all that stuff, it had to be the 45 days. So, which you remember, this is just an overnight thing that I started, right? So now, okay, we've done 10 days and now we're going to do 45. So it's a 55-day run for a Facebook post that I just said, pray for these people, right? But the community kept stepping up, kept bringing food, kept bringing I would put, hey, you know what? We need jackets. We need this, and Valentine's, we spent Valentine's with them. And, I spent my birthday was on the 1st. So we spent my birthday there with them. I took cake and stuff. And so they become, after 55 days, because you have to write down their names and register them and stuff like that. And have a count of how many people you've seen and whatever. And you get to know their names. They get to know you, it's like, because I was there every single day from, I would get there at 6 o'clock and open up, and then I'd leave at midnight. The earliest I would leave would be midnight, and stuff. Or about divorce me because for 55 days they didn't see me at the house, because then I would go get there and then go to work, and so they wouldn't see me. My kids are like, Mom, we don't see you, and I was like, well, come to the tents, come and help me at the tents if you want to see me. Mom, come back. It's like, come and do your homework over here. So my husband's like, okay, this better, and if anybody tells you it's going to run after that, it's done. I was like, okay. Because the thing is, I did bring my husband and my kids to help. So they were there too, So it was like a family affair and stuff. And then the members of Class of 82 that were under the committee helped out. And I lived here in Calexico. And so we had a lot of the community that helped. Yeah, I remember my kids took like toiletries, like toothpaste and soap, deodorant, toothbrush. Yeah, and then people would bring pizza, and I would say like, okay, who can bring today's dinner? It's like, and they would say, oh, I'll take. Usually it's like the church groups, because they have so many people. Then they're able to provide like a hot meal, and then the ones that's like maybe a family or something, they'll bring like, okay, pizza. Like, and you guys brought pizza, I think you and your sons, right? Yeah, we would bring pizza too. Yeah, and then, or, somebody would say, well, I can only afford like sandwiches and chips. And, hey, it's a meal, And so we'll take anything that we could take, right? So on 2/23/15 was the last day at the shelter at the park. So, but we still had food left over that people had brought, right? Yeah. So Norma took some of it home and I took the rest of it. So we split it because it was a lot. And Norma said, I'm going to go continue, feeding them at 6 and 7:30 at the park, till it runs out. And then I thought, well, then I'll take over the rest of that time until mine runs out and it's done. It never ran out.
Little did you know.
It never ran out because people kept saying, "Hey, do you need a meal? I'll take this. I'll take this." Well, and who am I to say, "Well, no."
Yeah.
It's like, so it's like, what happened was I started like putting a calendar. Okay, the same people that had helped me would say, like I had a Monday crew. Mm-hmm. Janet Chu, she's one of the teachers here at Jefferson. And she had her crew, and then she would feed on Mondays. And then I had Gionetti, he works for the schools or whatever, and he would have his crew and he would feed on Wednesdays, and then somebody fed on Fridays and stuff like that. And they've been with me all this time, even now, And so it just grew. Other people started seeing it because I would put on Facebook, okay, well, let's take a day and, whatever. And I think in maybe, because it's going to be 5 years already.
Yeah.
I think
this winter, right? It'll be 5 years.
Yeah. And then so I think in those 5 years, if we've missed a total of 5 days, it's been a lot because I've always had somebody. And it's usually because either somebody got sick and couldn't do it at the end. So I started having like, okay, I'm going to have a backup and then I'll provide the pizza. And, because people would give me money. And some people say, I don't want to be making food. So I'll just give you $20 or whatever. I said, well, $20, I can buy 4 cases of water at Costco. Or I'll give you $5. Okay, I can buy 2 cases of, so every little helps. Mm-hmm. So we've been, and it's rain or shine. We've been out in the rain. Yeah. We're out there in the heat. We're out there in the wind. They're out there, we're out there, And so by now, they know me. Most of them know me and Norma. And then it's funny because it's like, one of them said, oh, tú eres la Norma, and I said, no, yo soy Maribel. I said, las dos estamos gordas. Yo soy la güera y ella la prieta. And that's how they tell us apart now. It's like, okay, la güera la Maribel y la prieta la gorda de la Norma, because we're both iguales. So it's funny, but the truth, And then so we've grown where we've done, I started doing Thanksgiving, that first Thanksgiving in 2015. And I asked the priest at Our Lady of Guadalupe, because he saw me at the meetings at the council. Mm-hmm. And so he saw me one of the times that I told him all off. And he laughed, because he wasn't dressed like a priest. He wouldn't even wear that little thing, like a little collar thing. I was like, so I didn't even know. He was sitting next to me. I'm like, and he kept looking at me, right? And I'm like, who's this man? Why is he? There's so many seats. Why is he sitting next to me? And I'm thinking.
No, the funny thing is that I can remember watching the city council meeting, and I can remember seeing you shaking your head or making some kind of gesture
yeah. And they didn't have a bleep thing either. They couldn't bleep me, and I said some things, and so he was, I'm thinking, who is this man? And then when they said, oh, the invocation will be done by Father Miguel and then he stands up and I'm like, oh, he's a priest. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna burn, because he was touching my arm when we were thinking, they were so close together, those seats, and I'm such a heathen, I think. So you don't see me at church unless I'm there for a wedding. No, not even weddings now. It's just funerals, And it's like, okay, he's a priest, So then he stayed around. Usually they'll do the invocation and they leave. Yeah. But he stuck around, and then he wanted to hear what I was going to say. So then afterwards, and usually I would stay for the whole meeting. It's not like I gave my 3 minutes, and because there would be some item that I was going to talk about, and so I would have to stay, whatever. And he stayed. But he, in one of the breaks, he came and talked to me, and he says, you know what? He goes, tú eres mi gallita guerrera, is what he used to call me. I'm like, what is that? You're always fighting. You're like a little, fighter and stuff. And I was like, okay, always, don't stop. That's what God gave you. You're here to, you're speaking for the community. Somebody's got to talk for all of us and all this. And then I told him, I said, oh, well, I help the homeless, and, I just don't come and piss off the council. I also, help the homeless. He's like, really, you do? And I go, yeah. And then I said, we feed them, and I'm going to look for somewhere to do it for Thanksgiving. I want to do something special instead of doing it at the park or the parking lot, because we moved to the parking lot.
Yeah, the one behind the JCPenney area.
Right.
Yeah.
And then so he says, well, you know what? I'll lend you the Juan Diego Hall.
Oh, wow.
And then I said, how much are you going to charge me for it? And he goes, no, nothing. Because it's, you're helping the community, you're helping the less fortunate. And that's what the Catholic Church is for. And we're supposed to help. And I'm not going to charge you. I'm like, really? Well, I was like shocked. Okay. So the first Thanksgiving, it's, I take it was like 60. And that's a big hall,
Yeah.
And so we had the whole hall to ourselves, and whatever. And then he was supposed to close actually that night, the hall, the priest. And I'm looking for him, like, oh, where he hasn't come. And it was towards the end of the night, and who's going to close? And I didn't know who to call. And I'm like, whatever. And then he stands up. He's been sitting there the whole time with the homeless, but he doesn't wear that little collar thing. So I thought he was one of the homeless. I just scanned people, and I just thought he was one of the homeless. He gets up, and I was like, ay, padrecito, and he would laugh he thought it was the funniest thing. And so he says, I go, oh, can you lend it to me for Christmas? I want to do a posada, right? And then he says, okay, well, for the posada, he says, I know, these people are homeless, and, we're supposed to be nice to them and help them or whatever. He goes, but I think Christmas is more about children, And then so he goes, how in the senior citizens? And I know a lot of senior citizens that don't have family, and they're alone at Christmas and whatever. He goes, how about integrating them into this, inviting them? I said, okay, will you invite the senior citizens, whatever. And he goes, well, no, you invite them. No, I don't know senior citizens, And then so I called Area Agency of Aging. And I said, okay, how do I know where the senior citizens are at? And it's like, oh, well, they had a list of the 7 senior citizen homes here in Calexico. Who knew there was 7?
What? I didn't know that was
7. I'm like, okay.
But is it homes or like complexes?
Well, it's the complexes, like Rivera and, but it's...
Spud Moreno?
That one. And so there's 7 of these here in Calexico. So I contacted the managers, and I said, okay, you need to, identify, who the ones are that are alone, that family doesn't come for Christmas and they're alone. I said, those are the ones we're trying to target. So I would give them, each one would have 4 invitations, and they would give it out to them. And then I would say, I contacted Lalo Perez again from the LNA shuttle. And then I said, can you go pick up all these, senior citizens? And I said, it's 7 homes. You're going to have to do a run. He goes, yeah. He's always helped me, always, And I said, okay. So he would pick up, go, and then deliver them back home, afterwards. And so we had... the senior citizens, and then he wanted children. So I had, I knew about Cancer Resource Center of the Desert, and then one of my classmates from class of 82 is the founder of Amigos de Alejandro. They deal with children with cancer. He also from Calexico, right? So I called them too, and I said, you know what? You can get 4 families each, and then so we can invite them. So I would take them the invitations, and then they would invite the people and stuff. And then I talked to Hortensia Armendariz from the Family Resource Center here with the school district. And then I told her, I said, okay, get me a low-income family. And usually it's the homeless families, which are considered homeless because they're living with somebody else, like in somebody's apartment. There's 3 families together in an apartment. And so they're considered homeless because they don't have a home, And so so they got me one from each school, and there's 13 schools in Calexico.
Wow.
Okay. So so that's how it ended up growing, plus 60 to 70 of the homeless. So and then of course we needed Santa Claus, and my husband bien gordo too, so he played Santa Claus, and then Norma played Mrs. Santa Claus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, pays to be fat at Christmas time, and so she played Mrs. Santa, he played Santa. And then that first year I was able to, my 2 boys, my 2 sons, they were still minors, and I had control over them, and they had to do what I said, right? If you want to live and eat at my home, you're going to do what I say. So I actually got them to dress up as like elves, right? And then till my youngest saw one of his classmates in the crowd and rushed to the bathroom and changed and said, never again. So that was at 1 year only that I could get him to do that. And so, we had the elves, and then we had Santa Claus and whatever. And so everybody received a gift. So then, like the school, Hortensia would give me okay, I would need the first name and, the family, right? So it's like Garcia family has 3 kids and a mom and dad, or it's just a mom, single mom, or whoever, I had their first names and their age, so I could have the age appropriate gifts. Senior citizens, homeless, and the adults all got a little blanket, but the kids would get age appropriate toys. So because Santa had to give out toys, right? So we had to do this whole production of getting the families together, and then it's like we would on the invitation would say RSVP, call this number and RSVP. So they would call me, and I would tell them, it's like, okay, you're the only ones coming, right? Because I don't want you to bring somebody and then there's not going to be a gift for them, because everybody needs to get a gift. And it's like, oh, pues es que vivo con mi mamá y puedo llevar a mi mamá. And I was like, okay, give me your mama's name, or well, we live in my sister's house. So that'd be another family we would add, and so it started adding up. It was one year we had 250 people together, And so then I'm out there fundraising and then putting on Facebook, I need either you guys give me money and I can buy the toys, or you guys bring me toys or bring me something. So, and then like Assemblyman Garcia one year brought me a lot of toys. And so that kept us like for 2 years we had toys. But we would buy other toys on top of that, And then people would, like the Heffernan Memorial Healthcare District would give us blankets and stuff like that. So it was like everybody pitched in, and that's how we were able to do this. And then from the beginning, from when we had, I think the first time was when we were at the Methodist Church, McDonald's came over and brought us meals for all the homeless that day. And ever since then, every month, they give us a financial donation. And then at Thanksgiving, they will pay, the financial donation pays for the venue. So wherever I'm gonna have it, like at the we just had it at the Senior Citizen Hall.
Where's that one?
Right behind the community center, but it's a senior
the one behind
right behind it, the little one. So McDonald's paid for the venue, and then they also pay for the turkeys. So they pay for all the turkeys and stuff, and then my husband ends up all cooking them, and And but there's I have other people that help us with the food and stuff and whatever, and they also for the posada they'll sponsor the Happy Meals, so all the children up to 12 years will get Happy Meals. Okay, and then the Happy Meal comes with a drink. So then I tell them don't send me sodas. I have that here. Send me milk, the little milk bottle things, because then they have milk and cookies with Santa. While Mrs. Santa, Norma's reading a story. They're eating milk and cookies because Santa's got to eat cookies, right? Yeah. And Gordo's got to have a snack, And then so they do that, and then we'll do the teenagers get pizza, and then the adults will get the tamales and the beans and rice, or and everybody like brings beans or rice, salad. We'll get all that donated and stuff. So it becomes a production. So like. It's like from September through December, January, I'm like really busy, because I'm gathering, I'm begging everybody for money, Gran Plaza will give us some money and stuff like that. And usually when it's election time, you're trying to get elected, and we're going to give you a donation. So I think I got to hit up Mr. Hodge this year, let's see who's running so I can go hit him up, And so we've done that. So we do the Thanksgiving, we do the posada at Christmas. And then I try to do like once a year we do a resource fair for them, where I get all the departments, different departments like county or, Social Security or different, departments that come in and offer like the information to them. And then I usually try to do it because we also work in conjunction with the men's shelter, Catholic Charities, who own Our Lady of Guadalupe Men's Shelter. So Eddie Preciado is the director, and he's really good. It's like, what do you need? I was like, well, you know what? Your population is one, and it's mainly like maybe field workers or something, or but my populations are the ones that fall through the cracks, that cannot enter there because they have the drug problem and they're the borrachitos, and reality is reality. Yeah. They're not gonna make it in there because they have their problems and stuff. So it's like, okay, but can you lend me your showers? And then so yeah, we'll lend your showers and stuff. And so they're able to go from 3 to 5 every day, any day, and they can go and they know it's brown bag people and they take showers. And so we provide these kits. We make these like, kits and stuff. And so that's why I'm always asking, hey, toiletries, if you go to Dollar Tree.
And then in the hotels, the little shampoos.
Yeah. I'm always telling people that I know that travel a lot. It's like pull the toiletries every day. If you're going to stay a whole week, every night, take them and they have to replace them. If you leave them there, they won't replace them. So you got to remove them and so they'll replace them. And then I get people that bring me bunch of stuff. Yeah. So we make those little kits and that's what they use to take showers. So right now what I'm trying to do is get a shower trailer. And so I've looked into that and we had bids from different companies and one of them was like 19,000 and plus, but there's that 3,000 delivery because it's coming from Indiana. I'm at a fregada. There's nobody here near here. Yeah. So of course it's got to come from over there. It's going to come to me $3,000 and whatever. So yesterday, as a matter of fact, we just got a grant from the IID. I got a grant for $15,000, and then I got the grant from the following money that I can't remember the name of it. It's another different grant. I got $5,000 from there. So that's $20,000, right? So we've already paid for the trailer. Now we got to pay for the delivery. Yeah. And Planned Parenthood gave us $1,000. Wow. So we'll have the 21. So now I have to fundraise maybe 3,000 more for and stuff. It's like 2,000 something, but I know there's gonna be tax in there and all that stuff. Yeah. So I'm thinking we're gonna have to sell work with Pollos Mis Pollos, and I've already talked to them. So we're gonna do a plate, chicken plate, and stuff, and so we can sell plates and get money and stuff, so we can get that. So I'm hoping by the next summer, I'll be able to have the trailer here, and that's just the trailer. Yeah. So my husband has a van, and of course he's gonna get stuck having to driving it. I already told him. He's like.
Man, I feel bad for your husband.
I know, pobrecito. He's oh my God, he's a saint. Yeah. Putting up with me and my mouth
that
and
alone,
everything.
Right?
Yes, that alone, just me. Never mind the brown bag. Yeah. Putting up with me is like, he needs.
Yeah, he needs
something.
He needs to talk to the church and
sainthood and stuff. And then he'd rather have cash though, but sainthood's good. And then but then he's also a board member, so it's like then I do the guilt trip, right? Well, you're a board member, you gotta help. It's not because you're with me. It's you're the board member. And so talking about the board members, my board members are what's my husband Ricardo Leva, myself, and then it's Diana Garcia Ruiz from Proyecto Heber, and then you got Terry Nava from the Director of Housing Authority here in Calexico, and then you have Margaret Salsa from the Sure Helpline Crisis, and so that's the board. That's the board that we have.
So your husband's the only man in that board?
Yeah. He didn't have a choice. It's like, we didn't have an ask. It's like, no, you're going to be on the board. So, it's like, because then before it's like, he always has like a comment, or he has like, well, you should do this, or you should do that. Well, you know what? If you're going to be telling me what to do, then you're going to be on the board. Yeah. So you get to tell me, you get to tell all of us, the five of us, and stuff. But then it comes back to him because he's on the board. He has to do all this stuff, right? So, and it's like, well, why am I the one that has to dress up as Santa? Why? Well, you're the only man and you're fat. What can I say? So Norma does Mrs. Santa. So and now because my kids are not, they've already grown. One's a Marine and the other one lives in San Diego. So I'm an empty nester. I don't have my children anymore. So we got the ladies from a Zumba class, and they dress up like the elves. Oh, cool. So that's worked out because now it's more elves. Right? Yeah. So that works out.
And
really
plus,
good.
You get a lot of help from high school students, right? Sometimes.
Right. And then so we used to do a cleanup, a downtown cleanup, and I would work with the Aurora students that have the detention. So their Saturday school would become going out there, once a month with us, and then cleaning, and then the homeless would go with us. And then they would clean up, because there's a lot of homeless, that they say it's like, there's no way to repay anything you guys do for us. And so I tell them, oh, you want to repay me? Oh, yeah, you shouldn't have said that. I'm going to put you to work. I said, well, you know what? You can. Let's go clean up the community. I mean, they get blamed for all the mess anyways, right? Because it's like you see it on Facebook, you know, oh, the alleys stink of urine. It's all the homeless. Well, it's not just the homeless. You got all the raiteros standing there. You got all the taxi people standing. You know, the homeless is not the only problem you have. You know, if you're going to, it upsets me when they blame everything on them. And then there's a bad homeless and then there's a good homeless. You know, it's like you got all them druggies that are out there stealing and stuff. And they steal from the homeless, you know, because they know some of them have a check. You know, they'll get something and stuff, and they'll steal their stuff. And so, you know, you've got that bad element, and then you've got the good element. You know, as good as it gets. But, you know, they all get lumped in together. Yeah. And it's anything happens, the homeless. You know, and then it's like, oh, pues Maribel the brown bag. You know, I read in the newspaper, one of the council members put on Calexico Chronicle, and, you know, I was at home reading it, and somebody sent me the link because I don't get it because I'm in Calexico, and I'm reading it, and I started yelling at the computer, and my husband's like, they can't hear you. It's like, who are you yelling at now? Certain council member who puts on there that, you know, the brown bag is the one that has the homeless there. You know, they were there before the brown bag started. Yeah. They've been here. Every city has them. It's not like, oh, Calexico has the only.
Yeah, I mean, I just read an article that, you know, California has like, I don't know, this huge percentage of the nation's homeless.
And really, if you look at just here in the Valley, I think El Centro has a bigger problem than we do. I mean, we have them, but I think El Centro has like a bigger problem there.
I think with El Centro's, like you see, well, I mean, it's a bigger number of homeless because you see them like scattered all over the place, and normally here they stay
in one place. So the problem was that we were feeding at the parking lot, right? And so I chose to move that. I made the decision to move from there because I started seeing more cars parking there because of those plasma centers that opened up, and then they're building another one.
Right in front, right?
So I thought, you know, I wouldn't want my car around homeless people, you know, and stuff. So I thought, okay, let's move away because we used to use it because hardly anybody used it.
Yeah, it was empty pretty much.
So it was like, okay, no, too many cars. Let's move. And so they wanted, a certain council member wanted me to move it to Rodriguez, not Heber Park, the one by the old armory.
Okay, over here.
So I went. It's a nice park. It even has that park has. The Heffernan Memorial equipment for like
the exercise park,
the exercise stuff, you know, and stuff. So it's like a really nice park, and I'm thinking, no, and they're not gonna walk all the way over here and whatever, right?
Yeah, it's too far.
And then so it's like just because some people complain because they're still near downtown or they're near the park or you know because they started to see a lot of mess. It did become a mess at the park. And with them boxes, and it did become, you know, I saw that as like, okay, this is not gonna go well. Yeah, you know, with certain members of the community that live around here, and that have complained from day one, you know, and so when they said it's like, okay, that certain council member that put it on the newspaper that said, you know, they should move it to, you know, because he's trying to get us away from downtown too, to that park, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna move it over here. It's like. You know, I saw a difference. What's the difference between Rockwood Park and this, you know, Heber Park? The difference is the community that lives around it, the residents around that park. Yeah. You got a whole bunch of low-income people living around. You had housing. You know,
there's the housing. The apartments, and then there's just like a bunch of older apartments around that area.
Right. So that's the difference. Whereas near Rockwood Park, you have some supposedly prominent people living around there that don't like it and complain all the time, you know. So I thought, no, why are you going? Because it said something like, we're trying to clean up Rockwood Park. Okay, so if you're going to try to clean up Rockwood Park, that means you're going to dirty up Heber Park, you know. But it's okay because those people around that live there are, you know, low income. Yeah. So I said, no. I told the manager and I told the mayor. I said, I am not moving it over there. And if you make me move it over there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make flyers, go to everybody that lives around there, pass out the flyers, and I'm going to drag them all to your next council meeting so they can complain that now we're trying to move them to their backyard. You're trying to get them out of Rockwood's backyard. Now you're going to move them into Heber's backyard, right? Heber Park. And I said, So I'm going to bring him, and you're going to have a house full of residents that are going to be up in arms because you're trying to do this. And they're like, okay, well, where do you want to go? And I said, I'm going to move it to Border Park. Before, we couldn't do it at Border Park because the people came in through Mexicali through there. But now that it's not being used, because they kept saying, well, that's the entryway into Calexico. You don't want to see the fountain doesn't work. The park looks like crap.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but you don't want to see the homeless. So now when they closed it and they went to the new port of entry, okay, the only ones that see it are the people on the Greyhound, right? So it's like, who cares? So I said, no, I'm going to move it to Border Park. Because I don't care if you put them at the east part or west part of the town. They're always going to congregate downtown.
Yeah.
They're always going to be there. So you're not going to remove them just because we go feed over there at the port. They're just going to walk back to downtown because they're trying to get them out of downtown. Okay, then why can't El Centro get them out of downtown? Why can't, Brawley get them out of downtown? San Diego, they're all downtown. Yeah. They're always going to be downtown for some reason, And I said, okay, so we went to Border Park. And then I said, I was like, I'm going to try to clean up and tell people, hey, you know what? Move your little casitas over here to Border Park and let's clean up Rockwood Park and, and stuff. Yeah,
because for a while, you had it was like a pack house at Rockwood Park, right?
And it's funny because, and I tell them it's literally, before it's like, yeah, the homeless, whatever. But that eyesore became literally their backyard. That's their backyard. It's like, okay, now you can't look the other way and, think, okay, they're downtown. No, they're in, that mess is right behind you, And so, and we would tell them and then you had somebody that was like a hoarder and started bringing all sorts of stuff. So then what happened is the other people start saying, well, they don't tell them anything, so we're going to bring our stuff.
Yeah.
And that's how it grew. That mess grew. And we would tell them, I say, throw your stuff. They're going to bring a bin. You throw your stuff, because they're going to complain. And, you know how it is around here. Everybody complains about you guys being here and you're making it worse for yourselves by having all this clutter and stuff. And then that's when the police started saying, hey, we're going to pick up your stuff and you got 60 days to go pick up your. They gave them a ticket for their items because the people don't know that there's a law. The law changed and you can't remove them. You can't take away their stuff. Before you were able to throw away their things, and nobody would say anything. They would complain and cry because that's their stuff. It's like somebody went to your house and dumped your stuff in the trash can. How would you like that, right? So the law changed and you can't do that. So, and that's why people don't understand. It's like, well, just get them out of there and throw their stuff. No, you can't. That's against the law, in public areas. And the park is a public park. So what they did is they would tell them, okay, here's your claim ticket for your stuff. It's going to be at a city place somewhere. You can go get it. You got 60 days to go get it. Really? You think they're going to go get it? No, they're just moving their
They're
stuff.
just going to go get more stuff from somewhere
new
else.
stuff, new trash, But, like they say, your trash might be somebody's treasure.
Yeah.
My treasure, So that's their treasure. So we see it as trash. So it's funny because people are like, why can't the cops do anything? Why can't the city do anything? Well, city managers tied to the law. Police are tied to the law.
Yeah.
It's not that easy. And so, but they have cleaned it up. They did clean it up and stuff. And so some still live there, but it's not as cluttered as it got to one point.
Yeah. Really I remember passing by one time and I was like, it was like a little small town down in the park. Yeah, it was packed.
But see, that's what upset me because they had been there before. They were there before 2014, before we even I posted the thing, whatever.
Yeah, there's always been.
But this article made it seem like, well, the reason they're there is because brown bag feeds there, and brown bag feeds. Honestly, do you think somebody's gonna be homeless because they're gonna get one meal from the brown bag? Hell no. But okay, if it makes you feel better to blame the brown bag, go for it.
How do you feel in terms of those people that could easily, or those men that could easily be at the men's shelter, but just because of their addiction, they would rather just be.
Unless you get these people into rehab, they're not gonna go. Yeah, they're not gonna go with it. The borrachito's not gonna leave that beer and stuff, and so he's never gonna go into that shelter. We have they have like 5 beds assigned to brown bag. So if I have somebody that I can put in there, I can send them with a referral, or I'll just tell them go over there, and we identify that they can stay there. They don't have substance abuse. They don't have something. And usually, what happens is when these like field workers or whatever, they lose their mica, their green card, and you can't cross to Mexicali because then how are you going to get back? Yeah. And you have to work. So then they stay in the streets because they have to work. Mm-hmm. And so it's those people that are going to, that I can put in the shelter till they get their paperwork and then they get their green card. And once they get their green card, they go home. Yeah. So those are the people that I'm able to put in there that I know they have no substance abuse, and it's an emergency, and then they'll take them. And but the other ones, they'll never be in there. You've got the drugs, you've got the alcohol, and then there's some people that have been homeless so long, it's like they're that's what they want to be. Yeah. That's what they want to do. They want nobody telling them what to do.
It's crazy that some of us might think that they're I don't know, like for some reason they don't want to go to a home or get help. But at the end of the day, like a lot of people, this is what they've known for so long that they really can't imagine themselves in a house paying bills. Right. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like it's not easy owning a home or an apartment. Right. And you add the fact that some of these people are some of them are a little bit older. They can't get a high paying job where they can afford, The
only thing you have is a field work. Field work. That's all you got. And then they'll go work and then they get the check and then they're drinking and whatever and stuff. And there's some people like they won't go to the shelter because you have rules. And they just been accustomed to free for all, and they don't like rules, so they're not going to go there. And so that's my population. That's our population. That's the one we cater to, because like people tell me, why do you do this? Well, I didn't start out to do this. This was never a goal that I wrote down. I'm going to have a shelter and I'm going to have this.
It wasn't on your bucket list.
No, it was a Facebook post that just got out of hand, and then I could never stop. And now I don't want to stop. Now, I am going to go out and help them, but the thing is, I've been blessed in my life, and so you have to pay it forward. That's the way I see it. You have to pay it forward. And then I have two sons, one's a Marine. And that's why that Peter, who's a veteran from the Navy, is like, he's one of my favorites. I hate to say that I have favorites, but I do. He's one of my favorites because, he is a veteran. And he's out in the streets and he will never get help because he's got that PTSD, he's got that schizophrenia, he's got whatever it is, the drug, whatever it is, and he's never going to get help. So if I can make his life easier once in a while, and stuff, like for his birthday, it's coming up on the 23rd. So, I already bought him a new jacket and new thermals and so he's going to get his little present, And so for Veterans Day, I picked him up, took him to the men's shelter. He took a shower. I gave him new clothes, because you obviously have to throw what they're wearing. And then I took him, to Yum Yums, and sorry I didn't bring him here. I should have. Next time. And then so I took him to Yum Yums, and then he had a meal. And that was the day of the earthquake. Oh, okay. And it was so funny because, everything's moving, and then he looks at me because he's eating, and he goes, "You're feeling that, right?" And I said, "Yes, we're all feeling it." Okay. And he goes back to eating like, okay, I'm like, my schizo stuff is going off and whatever. No, we're all feeling it, so that was funny. And then I took him back to the park, and I,
dropped him off home.
Yeah. And so I try to do like always, give him socks.
So is he your only veteran here?
That I know of. The other veteran was elderly, and then he got run over on Imperial Avenue here. They flew him to San Diego, but he died. He died over there. And and then Tata, our first one, the 86-year-old, he also got run over at the Pep Boys parking lot because the borrachito, and I would tell him, don't lay down because you pass out in the middle of wherever. And he did it at the parking lot, and the person had, the sun in his eyes, didn't see him, and ran him over, and it killed him and stuff. So we've had, and then we lost one to the summer to heat stroke.
Wow.
And so, and we started doing where we're in the summer, we go out there and take them water.
Yeah. And that's something that I noticed that, this started with the Facebook post, and now that, like when it's really hot, like you'll post something, or somebody will post something, and you'll get somebody volunteering, like, hey, I brought people water out here at the park. Like, it's not, these people have taken the lead from you, and they'll volunteer on their own, like, right. And it's something that like, it amazes me how people, you have those people that, why are you doing this, you're just making them stay here or whatnot. But then you have all these people that, the beat of a heart, they'll go out there and,
right. And I have this one couple, Chris and Vivi Leal, and Chris is a veteran. He just retired from the Navy. He was a cook there, and so he makes a meal and all that stuff. And so I would go out there. Me and my son would go out there, and then them two would go out there, and we would take like the 2 hottest days of the week when it was the extreme heat. Yeah. We do it on the extreme heat, and then because they're gonna get water at the feeding at 7:30. But if it was an extreme heat day, then one of us would take one day, and then I'd take the other. And then so we posted that, and then we had the IV Transit people. They saw that, and so they brought us a whole pallet of water from Costco. Oh, wow. And so they donated that water, and then I got McDonald's and Sun Community Credit Union donated like a whole bunch of the Gatorades.
Oh, okay.
So we'll give them the Gatorade, we'll give them water and stuff, and then we'll take them some like cheese sticks, something cold. Yeah. It's always like or I'll get apple, the applesauce and put it in the refrigerator the night before, so it'll be really cold, and then we take them in ice chests and stuff, and we pass that out. So, and then we take the bolis or some, Otter Pops and stuff. And so it's cold. And then they end up using the water from the ice chest. Once I've taken everything out, we would give them the bags of ice with ice in it, and they would put their stuff in there. And then one of the girls just practically took a bath because she was like, she was having like heat stroke because she was really, I looked at her and I was like, okay, you don't look good. And, and she was dark girl, but she was turning white, and I'm like, okay, you're not looking good. And it's like, so she got under the the spigot from the ice chest, and the ice cold water was just she was taking like a shower and stuff like that, and it kind of cooled her down. And then it's like, she goes, okay, I feel better. So I'm thinking, if we had not been there, that she would have had a heat stroke. And we lost one of the elderly men to that heat stroke, and so I thought we have to get out there. And then we had the hepatitis A. When San Diego had that outbreak, that it killed a lot of the homeless out there and stuff, and then I thought, oh my God, if it gets here, because we get a lot of people from San Diego. Yeah, that's why something you say is, where are these people from? Well, San Diego's trying to get rid of them, so they put them on a bus and send them to us over here, or wherever, however much money they have, and usually this is where they end up in El Centro, whatever, in here. And so I didn't want that coming over here, and I thought, if San Diego, who has more money, can't deal with the outbreak, how is County of Imperial, we're all poor, how are they going to deal with it, right? So then I thought, okay, aside from that, I'm going to go to the health department. And so I asked the health department, what can we do about the hepatitis? They gave me a flyer. And then and the flyer said, okay, you have to wash your hands, and with soap, and So then I started making kits. It was the kits for this to wash your hands. So, it had little bottles of water from Costco and stuff, and then we put soap, and then we had the little wash rag and like anything that hand sanitizer and stuff. So we put that, and then we included that flyer in there that said how to wash your hands or whatever. And then so that I put that on Facebook, and then the health department saw that I had put that on Facebook. So then, and then I went to the Heffernan Memorial Healthcare District, and I asked them. I said, what? I said, can you guys pay for the immunization for the shots? And they said, yeah, well, we're going to do it. They all said yes, or whatever. Well, in order for them to get it, they had to go through the health department, because the state, I guess, gives it to the health department. I don't know how that little red tape works and stuff. So then the health department contacted me, and they said, we'd like to go out with our mobile unit and go out there and monitor your feedings. And then, they said, just go out there. I said, well, if you go out there by yourself, good luck with that, because how long it took me to get these people to trust me and stuff. So it has to be during the feeding when I'm there, so I can tell them, hey, this is what they're doing, come. And then I said, but can you bring water so you can pass out water? It's anybody that's going to help needs to bring me either water or granola bar, something. You're going to give them something. Yeah. And I said, yeah, we'll provide water, And then we put the wash stations where they would be able to wash their hands and stuff. And then in that day, we did, I think, about 21 people. And we usually feed like 70, 80, because I told them, I said, come at the end of the month when I have the most people. During the first 15 days, I'll get maybe 50, 60 people. But after the 20th on, and they already ran out of their money. So now I'm looking at 70, I'm looking at 80. So because they weren't going to have somebody give them a shot. They didn't know what it was. And you know, so because they don't trust it.
Yeah.
You know, and even it says health department on the big old van right there. And you got nurses dressed as nurses. And it's like, I would have to tell them, I said, come on. And I would get one. I said, okay, you got to do it so the rest of them see you do it. And
yeah, just like little
whatever.
kids, right?
It's like, follow the leader and then whatever. And then, so yeah, we got like 21. And then we did another run at the men's shelter to get the population from the men's shelter. We got another 23 there. So, and now it's their, they have to get a booster shot, the second shot that comes with it. And so it looks like we might be doing it this Monday that's coming. So, because we got to do it before the 12th. So they're going to be out there again doing that booster shot and the ones that weren't there the first time. So we're going to go out there again and do that with the health department. So now you got entities that are helping, you know, are trying to help and stuff.
How many of your population do you think are dealing with like mental health issues?
Most of them.
Yeah.
It's either drugs, alcohol, or the mental issues. And then, you know, most of them have mental issues. And the thing is, you're never going to get anywhere unless you house them. You got to house them. You got to house them first and then get them all the help that they need. You know, behavioral health has to come out and do something. And then where do you house them? The housing authority, all their units are full. You know, there's no affordable housing anywhere. That's why you have so many families paired up, even tripled up at somebody's apartments. You got 3 families and stuff. So it's really hard. That's why I'm looking at that. I've been watching YouTube all
tiny houses.
Crazy, the tiny houses. And we're actually going, our board, we're going to go to, they're having the big conference where they have all the tiny houses on, and it's going to be at the Del Mar Fairgrounds next year, like March or something like that. I can't remember the date. So we're going to go up there and look at them. Okay. And that's what I've been telling the city, because Mr. Hodge did a task force, created a homeless task force. You know, there's one for the county, but you have to create for your own city. Yeah. County is like everybody. You know, so
they don't really know.
Yeah. And so it's like, okay, we're gonna do something for just our city. What are we gonna do and stuff? And so we got different people, you know, like you have the neighborhood house, you have the Catholic Charities, you got us, you got having a memorial board, you have different entities coming, you know, have behavioral health and all that to see what we can do. And it's always been, you're never gonna get nowhere till you house them. So we got to put them in little tiny houses. And, you know, because people's like, well, they should go get a job. Okay, you try to get a job when you don't have a house and you don't have nowhere to take a shower and you don't have good clothes to go do an interview. And now everything's online and they don't have computers.
You know, even that, like normal, regular people that, you know, have a home and are struggling to pay bills, like they can't even get a job.
Right.
Sometimes.
So now you expect these people that have no resources and stuff to go out there. So it's like when I see that, well, they should get a job. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, ignorant. Yeah. So it's like, and that's the other thing, that the other part where I left off, that, you know, the reason that I do this is because, you know, I want to pay it forward, but because of my children, because I think, you know, my youngest is a Marine. Okay. And I looked at Peter and it's like, if heaven forbid anything happened to my son and he come back from a war, because he's going to Afghanistan in April, he leaves for deployment over there. And I'm already stressing, but heaven forbid anything comes back and he comes back like Peter, you know, and when I'm gone, I'm thinking, hopefully there'll be somebody that will hand him a brown bag with one sandwich, chips and water. Yeah. You know, if anything, at least. And that's why I'm like, these people are somebody's brother, somebody's son, somebody's uncle or something. And that's the way I see it. It's like, when I'm gone, hopefully somebody, you know, if my children were to need something, somebody will pick up that.
Yeah, we don't, I mean, we don't see it because we're not in that situation. And you know, really, like any of us could, you know, if anything happens, like we could, you know, be in that situation, right? Or like, who don't have a home. You know, because I mean, you don't only feed the homeless. There's people that do have homes that might need a little bit of food that might come in.
And it's like we're all one paycheck away from being homeless.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, we're all like that
here in the valley. Yeah.
So when I start seeing like the women with the kids, then I'll ask them, why are you in line? You know, don't you have? Pues sí, pero ya se me acabaron los food stamps, ya se me acabó el dinero y pues no tengo para la comida. So they bring the kids to get a thing. I said, okay, well then let me know. Then we'll get you, some food, some canned goods and stuff, and we'll buy you so you don't have to stand in line con los borrachitos and los, the
bring the kids,
because I get families, I'm like, okay, we don't want to have that.
Yeah.
And then...
Do you guys work with the food bank at all?
Yeah, we're going to put in an application to get food like that, and then but it's not that many. We don't get that many.
Okay.
So it's once in a while we'll get one or two, and then that's when we tell them, okay, we're going to tell me what your address is. We're going to go drop off the box so you don't have to come over here. I'd rather you're not in the line. Your kids are not in the line.
Yeah.
They should be doing homework, not be standing in the line at 7:30 for a meal.
Yeah.
And then so we do get that, and then we have like, there's some seniors that, they get Meals on Wheels, but that's like at lunchtime or something, go drop it off. And then like at the end of the month when their money's exhausted, then it's like they'll come and get a meal. Because we don't turn people away unless, whatever we have, si se acabó, se acabó. But if we have it, we're not going to judge. That's what I tell my feeders, like, don't judge. Because you don't know. Because somebody's like, oh, well, se bajó del carro y del van y lo viene y se pone acá. I said, yeah, but they live in the van. They live in that car. You don't know that. And then, because I do have people that live in their vehicles. And so I said, it doesn't matter if you see them getting off of that's the only thing they have.
Yeah.
And so if you have the food, give it to them. Now the problem is because we're downtown at the border park, we get the raiteros. And raiteros going to get in line. No tienen vergüenza, okay? But okay, we're not going to judge. If you're a raitero and you really need a meal and you have to stand in line with, whatever, if there's money, if there's food, we'll give it to you. But it's like, really, so I told my feeders, I said, our population. You guys have been doing it long enough to know who our people are. So those extra people that, are raiteros or whatever, that are just getting in line or whatever, put them to the end.
Yeah.
Y si alcanza, alcanzó. But if not, then you're at the end, they're at the end, And so, because they was like, ay, pero son raiteros. Okay, well, I guess they're hungry, and if you have the food, just give it to them.
Yeah.
It's like, but put them to the end. Our people first, and then it's like, ni modo.
Yeah.
Go back to your corner or whatever.
And you mentioned, the family that will tell you that, they ran out of food stamps. Just came out in the news that over 700,000 people might end up losing their food stamps because what is...
Isn't our government great? Let's make America great again, right? Don't even get me started on that. Híjole. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, all these people, that get the food stamps. And what's funny? 40% of those people are white. The biggest population that takes food stamps is white. The minorities are like 2% are, Hispanic and then the Asians or whatever. It's like, it's going to hit the white people hardest, but okay. And Texas will be hit hard. Texas is one of them. But then, hey, you want to live in a red state? You go, But, ¿qué culpa tienen our little homeless? Now they're, their food stamps are going to go down and whatever. So to me, that's like scary because, okay, now I'm going to get more.
Yeah, because I think the reason was like you have to prove that you're working or that you're trying to get a job. What was
I don't know how that deals with the homeless because obviously they're not working. They're not going to work.
But like here, like that, we have a high unemployment rate, and it's not like people don't want to work. There's really not that many jobs. Like, how do they justify taking away food stamps to people like our community?
Well, obviously, this administration doesn't have to justify anything. They just do it. If they're willing to cage children, they're willing to take away your food stamps. So that means that's going to put the pressure on us, the non-governmental agencies that help them. It's like, okay, we're going to have to ask for more donations because now our population is going to grow.
Yeah.
Because they're going to run out of food stamps earlier. Let's say they get a cut, not necessarily all removed, but they're going to get a cut. So that means, we waited till the 20th till they ran out. They're going to run out sooner. So they're going to be at our feedings earlier. And so that's going to be more people. That means a lot more fundraising and a lot, asking for stuff. So,
We're at an hour and 10 minutes already.
Oh, Lord have mercy. You know I can talk. You should have told me.
No, it's okay. But, you know, I just want to, you know, if people want to help, like, where can they reach you? Do you rather food or what's the easiest for you to, like?
The easiest for us is a financial donation because we know what we need to buy. If I need to buy toothpaste or, you know, we need the financial. They can reach us either on the Facebook page, which is Brown Bag Coalition. Our phone number is 760-997-2140. I don't check the email. Nobody checks emails no more, I don't think, right? Brown Bag Coalition at Yahoo, but it's almost everything messenger or through the page. Yeah. Or they call me and text me on that number. And usually we're looking for the financial, but you know, if you, like there's
Water's
some people,
always...
water. We're always looking for water because we give them water. The sodas are optional. So that's why I tell the feeders, you want to give them sodas? Okay, that's optional, but you got to give them the water. They got to be hydrated. So we'll take water from, you know, if you can only afford a case from, you know, Costco, $4.99, you know, we'll take it. That's 40 bottles of water right there. So, but, you know, we're always looking for socks. We're always looking like for shoes. Right now I need a lot of like men's shoes. And so I always tell anybody, like, men, like, okay, don't throw your shoes away. Give them to me, you know, because you might think, and I see some really nice shoes, but to them it's old and new ones, and they're like perfectly fine. And I mean, these homeless guys are like, really? That's like a new pair of shoes. Yeah. You know, so anything like that, you know, and then because we need the financial, because I buy them the underwear. So I'll buy them clean underwear and stuff, the boxers. And so we get them shoes and all that.
Even like if you follow the Facebook, like you're always like at Walmart shopping around for like the...
Yes.
Like,
they know me already.
Yeah.
You know, if there's ever a shooting at Walmart, you're going to find me dead in the clearance aisle. Okay? If anybody's looking for me, I'm in the clearance aisle dead. Because that's where I'm at. I live at, it's like every day I'll go by. And, you know, like yesterday I found some jackets for $3.
Oh, wow.
And so those we're going to raffle off. Excuse me. We're going to raffle it off at the Posada. So, you know, I'm going to package them nice and put the size and, you know, so we're going to raffle them. So I'm always looking for that clearance and stuff. But I need the financial money, money to buy it. Yeah. So because this money that we're getting through IID, that money is going for the trailer. I'm not using it for feedings or toiletries or anything. That is going for that trailer. Yeah. So it's solely for that. So if somebody says, oh, she just said she got $15,000, $20,000. Well, yeah, no, it's going for the trailer. Yeah. So if you want to pitch in for the trailer, if you know of any rancher out there, then it's giving. There's somebody that's going to die and have a will. Put us in your will, you know? So yeah, that's where we look.
So financial is a lot better. Facebook is probably like the easiest way to get a hold of you guys.
Yeah.
And I know you have a lot of people that, you know, are like regulars that donate or help. Do you want to mention any of those?
Well, that would be McDonald's from the beginning. Day one, McDonald's has been there every month. They give us a financial. Plus, they step up at Thanksgiving. They step up at Christmas. And then for the last 18 months, December will be the last month. Sun Community Federal Credit Union also gave us a $300 check for 18 months. So that's helped out a lot, you know. And then we have I have one person that $20, you know, monthly. I get it, you know, she sends it out. And then I have like somebody that works at Wells Fargo. I won't say his name because he gets mad, but you know, a very well known person from Calexico that works at Wells Fargo in El Centro. You know, they take it out of his check. So every 3 months I get, you know, a check from what I guess the bank or whatever it is, because he has it allotted in his check. So if people want to put it in their checks to, you know, we're a nonprofit, so they can put us down because we're a nonprofit, and then they can look us up.
And they can also do the like Amazon stuff, right? Where you go to, what is it, Smile?
It has to be Amazon Smiles. If it's just a regular Amazon, no. But if you go to Amazon Smiles and then you designate Brown Bag Coalition, then we get, from your purchase, we'll get like a cent or something or whatever. I got a $5 check the other day. Woo. I mean, hey, $5, that's a case of water from Costco, you know.
And also, like, there's always people that will do the Facebook donate.
So I'm always putting it on there now. I didn't do that before, but we've gotten in Facebook donations that way. We've gotten about $1,500.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that they sent to me like every quarter or every month or whatever, though. I just got a $480 check. So I know there's more coming. Yeah. And that's going to be used for the Posada. and stuff. And so, yeah, if you want to donate on Facebook, I do get that money. They don't take a fee or anything. It's straight to us. So it's you give me $5, I get $5.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
So, and I just started the PayPal thing, but I got to learn all that PayPal and all those things, Venmo, I don't know what they're called and stuff. So, that's too much.
Yeah, we use Venmo in our house.
And then with work and everything, it's like I have to sit down and do all that stuff, So, but yeah, they can contact us that way, or, now we have a homeless couple with a baby. Well, they got a room. So they're in Mexicali, they got a room. On Thanksgiving, when we did that, she had just gotten out of the hospital at noon.
Wow.
And she had to come to the dinner because she was going to have Thanksgiving dinner because she's been at him, since we started.
Wow.
So she took the baby and I posted the picture. And people, message me, hey, I have like a car seat and I have, so I've had like 4 women that have, messaged me and given me stuff. Oh. So she'll be getting the stuff. But we're trying to get her to come, get lodging over here on this side. So for now, they're over there in their room in Mexicali. So we're trying to get them here. And then so it'll be easier. But, if you have all that, don't throw it away. Because we want to have a yard sale. We can get money off of a yard sale. That money goes towards the feeding. Okay. So. Yeah,
because you guys got a lot of clothes too, right? That you have like a warehouse where is
well, the men's shelter lends me one of their rooms. Okay. And so any donations that come in, I keep all the men's stuff because that's my population mainly. I have a few women, so we have a few stuff. But we usually get a lot of kids. We get a lot of women and stuff. And so what we're doing right now is we're sending the women's and kids to the migrant shelters in Mexicali because of this whole with government crap stuff going on. So we're sending it to those shelters, and then we send baby stuff and kid stuff to the orphanage in Mexicali because one of our feeders works with him over there. Oh, yeah. So I'll save stuff and distribute. And then through the Methodist Church, they have a program where they're helping the people also. They're coming through the port of entry, once they cross and stuff, and they usually don't have anything. So we'll give them clothes and we'll give them stuff and whatever, And then if sometimes we have these homeless that do want to go home or whatever, and so then I'll pay for the bus ride back to LA. I just sent one a few months back to LA and stuff like that. So we help them that way. That's where the financial comes in. Yeah. Because I'm able to have that money, and then, that's one less we have here. Yeah. If he's willing to go, we go. I'm always telling him, where do you want to go?
Yeah. So, and I'm sure if you post it on Facebook, like they'll get him a plane ticket too, wherever he wants to go.
Yeah. So every, all the money goes like towards them, so.
I was going to ask you if you had like a magic wand, but probably this is a better question for her husband. Like if you had a magic wand and he would try to fix all this, like what would you think he would say?
Well, there's no fixing the homeless population. He might want to erase me out of it and himself, but no, he's good. He's good. He's just like, but sometimes it's like, you know what? I think if I was homeless, I would get more. You would pay more attention to me if I was homeless. I'm like, okay, babe, that can be arranged. Careful what you wish for. But no, he's good. He's the saint. Like I said, he's a saint. But he knows there's not gonna go away. But he does say, hey, you know what? And I don't mind saying my age, but he goes, you're going to be 56 here. How long do you think you're going to be doing this stuff? You got to start looking at somebody younger that's going to take over this,
Well, you don't look 56.
I might not look it, but I feel it, and I am, so, and especially like during the winter, like Christmas, and I'm hauling this and I'm hauling that. And then, when you're fat, it's like you feel everything even more. So it's like he gets tired and even more than I do. And so the back hurts and all that. So we're not spring chickens. So he's like, and it's like my co-founder, pues tampoco está igual. She's the same age and fat. And so, like my board is kind of not elderly, but,
yeah,
we're not spring chickens. Margaret apenas puede, if you know Margaret's outside, you can apenas, pero she's a mover.
Isn't she like in Thailand or somewhere?
Yeah, yeah. But she'll be here next weekend to feed. It's her feeding day on Sundays. And so so he says, you have to start looking at who is going to pick it up. Yeah. Who's going to do it. Or heaven forbid something happens and you're gone. Who's going to pick it up? I said, well, if I'm gone, guess it goes to you and then you find somebody. Then it won't be my problem no more. So, but it's like we have to look at somebody younger. So,
I wanted to talk about this too, but before we end, I want to ask you about your recognition you got from the Red Cross. It was because I know it's something big. It's not like not everybody gets something.
No, my husband saw it. The Saint saw it online somewhere that they were taking nominations, and so he sent in and said, my wife does this and this and that and that, and then Chris and Vivi Leal, they sent in the nomination, and so they got 2 nominations from here, and then they hadn't gotten somebody from the Valley since 2014. That was the last time they got somebody. So it's usually everybody from San Diego or other places, but it's not the Valley. And so they were happy to have somebody from the Valley, I guess. It's like, oh yeah, she's from the Valley, we'll do something, And so it was like a surprise to me. And then they said, oh yeah, we're gonna have it at the recognition, and you have to be over here at the Midway at 6:30 in the morning. I was like, what? Can't you have a lunch? And I did tell them, and my husband's like, you're getting an award and you're telling him. Well, it's like, and I told her, I said, you know what? You might keep in mind, if you're going to give somebody from the Valley, we have to drive 2 hours. That means I have to get up at 3 a.m. to put on the makeup because I don't wear makeup all the time. People know that. And so I had to get up at 3, put the makeup, drive up there. The people that wanted to go and be with me had to do the same thing. So some of the board and some of my friends went up there, and I told them, I said, it's like a hardship for us from the Valley, do a luncheon. And then she looked at me, she goes, yeah, that's an idea. And then my husband's like, I cannot believe you're getting it. You're telling them what to do.
The Red Cross.
They don't know me. I tell everybody what to do. So, but and then now I'm getting the, and I don't do this for the recognition.
Yeah, I mean,
unless it's if it comes with money, because some of them do come with, like when I got donation. The Molina award, they have awards that came with $1,000 towards the charity. So you pick your charity. Well, of course I picked my charity. So we got $1,000 from that. The Red Cross is nice and everything, and I got a nice little thing, but it doesn't come with money. And Univision had something too, and that didn't come with money, but it had a little thing. And then now I'm getting in January that Stone Award, the Martin Luther King Hope Stone Award, and so that'll be in January. And it's nice, and I don't do it for the.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's putting the coalition's name out there,
right?
So.
Because it's like I would tell my husband, no, I don't want to be recognized because like people say, hey, she just does it to be in the news, or she just does. I'm already in the news for other stuff, but, not lately, but before. Yeah, you always saw me in the news. Otra vez. It's like, oh, but I started seeing that if I get an award and it comes out in the newspaper, like right after the Ivy Press had it on their newspaper, they went and did the story. Okay, I expected that thing to run on the life section of, where they have the community stuff and whatever. I opened it, and somebody sent it to me on the text. I hadn't even seen it. And it's on front page, top fold, the whole thing. I'm like, oh my God, this is huge, But that got me people that called. They called and they looked online and they messaged me. And then they said, I saw your thing. And one of them wanted to do community service hours. And then she goes, oh, I got caught drunk driving and I have to do community service hours. I said, are you a nonprofit? Yes, we are. She read the thing and she goes, well, can I do it? Yes. So if you want to do, community hours, service hours, we will take you. And so they got people to bring me also like monetary stuff and then, or give me things like their shoes and stuff like that. Yeah. So my husband says, see, because I'm like, I don't want to do that. And it's like, see, you get people to know that you're out there and they give you stuff.
Like free promotion kind of.
Yeah. So I'm looking at it that way now. So if anybody out there wants to give me an award and wants to put in Ivy Press and the news, I'm up for it.
And the front page.
Front page, please. Not in the back. So that was but the Red Cross is a big thing. Yeah. And I didn't know about it. So I didn't know what a big thing it is for them, because it came out in the news over there too. And then they wanted me to go on an interview over there for some news thing. But I was like, I'm not going to drive 2 hours for just a 10-minute interview. I'm like, oh, no, I can't.
You're like, can you do it through the phone or something? Here?
I mean, the people came down here to film because they had to record and stuff because they did a really nice video. So they were down here and they were at the feeding it. And it's funny because, I went and saw Mr. Roberts, the one that lives at the park. It has a little dog at Rockwood Park. And And pues I go over there and I hug him and he hugs me, right? And so they caught that. They caught when I was hugging him, and they're like, "You hugged him?" I was like, "Yeah." Like if Peter lets me, I hug him and stuff. They let me out, I'll hug him. Some people just want to hug.
Yeah.
I've had that where I don't want your gift. I want you to give me a hug. Like at Christmas time, we hug them. And on Christmas Day, Christmas night feeding, my husband and I go out there, and my husband dresses as Santa Claus again. And, and so we distribute gifts that day, and usually it's me and my two boys, but, like now I only have one that's coming down. So I ask people if you can, come and help me feed. And it's that night because holidays are really bad. Everybody wants to be with their family.
Yeah.
I understand that. So Saint Rick gets stuck with holidays. It's like we're going to do the holidays. So.
Old Saint Rick.
Yeah. And so not Nick, but Rick.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we do that. And so sometimes they just want to hug.
Yeah. This week, the schools across the nation are doing the inclusive schools week, and that's one of the things that they were practicing. I think it was today. They're like, look at somebody in the eyes and smile at them, like make that contact. And at the end, like a lot of people just need recognition in that sense, where like I know you're there, and it could be a hug, a smile, or
they feel invisible because people don't look at them. You look away. You look away because there's like guilt that you don't want to give them, or you think borracho. Well, what if that borracho is your brother, or whatever? So it's somebody's brother or somebody's son.
Yeah. So because you had somebody that was like one of your friend's brother, right?
I know people that have their families out there, and then so they'll tell me, "Hey, that's my brother. Can you give him a little bit more food that day or something?" And I'm like,
okay. I think you had somebody that one of your friends that passed away, that his brother you saw that you took him to the doctor or something like.
Oh yes, that was my best friend in high school. That's who I'm named my son after, Alfonso. And I saw him out on the streets and stuff, and I'm like, and then they cut his leg off or something, and so he's got that going for him too. And so on Alfonso's, the day that he died, on that day I went out there and looked for him, and I took him toiletries, and I told him, and I asked him, he goes, "You remember me, right?" He goes, "Sí, la Maribel," because I was with his brother all the time. We'd always go party and stuff, and so he knew me. And then I said, "Okay, well, today's been 29 years since your brother died, and so I thought I'd in his honor come and give you a bag of toiletries." He was crying. I'm like, "Don't cry," because I'm like, people know me as like, "Why are you crying? Why are you crying?" Because people say I have a cold heart because I don't cry and whatever, and I was like, "Don't start crying." But it was funny because he remembered me, and he really thanked me, and he thought but he's in El Centro.
Yeah.
And so I said, "If you ever need me," and I get my card, I said, memorize the number because you're going to lose it. They lose everything. I said, memorize my number, and if you need something. But le doy vueltas, and whatever. Like on Christmas, I'm going to take him something and whatever. So I look for him. So you never know. I would have never thought 29 years later, I'm giving this guy's brother, he's out on the streets and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but he's drugs and whatever. And so, a lot of the family, they're they can only support you so much, and then it's like, okay, you're on your own.
Yeah, I have somebody in the family that's like that, has that problem, and he's a veteran too, so even worse. Yeah.
And it's hard with the veterans because it's like even because there's services out there for them, but some of these services means that you have to be off the drugs, you have to be this and that, and they're so far gone that Peter's never going to get the help. So if I can make his life a little bit easier by giving his money, and I have his mother's number, so I send pictures to the mom. It's like, okay, if, veterans, when he had taken a shower and all that, I sent that to her. She says, "Ay, gracias, te bendigo," and all this, because she knows he's not gonna go with her, and, and stuff. So, if it makes the mom a little happier that somebody's looking out for her son, So, you never know. You never know where life's going to take you, or where life's going to take one of your family members. Yeah. So just keep that in mind. And if you could look at him and say hello or smile and stuff. And a lot of people don't want to give him money because they're like, no, because they're going to go buy beer or drugs. Okay, then give it to us. If you don't want to give it to the brown bag, there's Spread the Love Charity in El Centro. There's Brawley Feed the Need in Brawley. There's always places you can give it to.
Or just go drive through, get a couple tacos and a chicken sandwich. And if you really want to, if you want to help them out and not give them money, but want to make sure they have something to eat, like you can always do that.
Yeah. And some are smart. I mean, some are truthful. They'll like, no, I want money for my, vicio, whatever, my drug, whatever and stuff. I don't want your tacos. You know? And then some people get mad. They didn't want the tacos. Well, he's a druggie. He's a drunk. He's gonna, whatever. So if he doesn't want the tacos, then give it to us, and then we'll get him some toiletries. We'll get him some socks, and stuff. They always want socks. I don't think anybody will turn away socks. Okay, socks is a much needed thing. You try wearing the same socks for a week, see what happens.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. That's something that we don't really think about.
You take for granted, or that toothpaste or that toothbrush or something. Yeah. You go to the Dollar Tree and just buy one of those little kits that comes with everything and give them that. I don't think they'll say no. Yeah. So you can do that. Yeah. But yeah, they can reach us either way, and then we'll get it to them.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're at an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And well, you're not the longest one. There's somebody else that did 1 hour and 40, but yeah, I think we could talk for hours.
I hope you can cut in there so they can go take a potty break or something.
Yeah. But thank you, Maribel. Thank you for taking this time off and talking to me. Sorry I didn't do it earlier, but
no, that's okay. I was just making fun of you that day because Diana's one of my board members, right? So when she posted, it's like, oh, what about me? And I'm from Calexico. And you're doing somebody from Heber. I was just giving you grief.
Yeah. No, the thing is, like, sometimes I forget because since I already worked with you, remember when I did that video for you and stuff like that. So it's like, but, sometimes I get stuff mixed up where like, when didn't we talk or when did we do this? But
it's been years.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because when we first started, my son was like 5 or 6. Now he's 11 and he's like taller than me. Now it's crazy. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a while. Like, it's crazy how long that's, like you said, it was a Facebook post that
started it, and things change and stuff. Yeah. Maybe next year I won't be doing this. I don't know, but I'll keep going as much as I can. But yeah. So it's always, thank you for inviting me.
No.
Because I can talk forever. Everybody knows me. No se calla la boca. En todo está menos misa. All them things.
No, I think it was nice because I kind of miss you, like not going to the meetings and having the.
You miss me. Ask the council if they miss me. That was not going to.
Like one of the main reasons I would watch them, because somebody would be like, "Oh, they just," or they would post like just that one part where you would go up and and
Mr. Hotch, if you're listening, he misses me at the meetings. Maybe I should go. What do you think? Yeah.
I think he's gonna listen to this podcast. Yeah, he's gonna a couple of times.
That's what I told him. I'm gonna go to the meetings. I'm gonna take everybody, and his eyes were like this big. I was like, "Oh no, we don't need you back at the meetings. We don't." I was like, okay. So yeah.
Especially now that he's telling people to not yell.
But I don't think they have the problems they have now. They don't have the problems.
No.
They're more united. They vote on more stuff and whatever. They fought between themselves, and they had some stupid things that they were doing and stuff, and I don't see that anymore.
Yeah.
And even, I could go but they're going to say, you don't live here no more. Why are you up here? But you know what? This is my hometown. And I help the homeless citizens of, so it is my town. Yeah. It'll always be my town.
Yeah.
So, I can always go get somebody's address, right? Like everybody does it and say, I live here, so I can go to the council meetings. Yeah. But yeah, Mr. Hodge, here I come.
All right. Maribel, thank you once again. Thank you guys for listening. And if you want to help out, the Brown Bag Coalition or any of the other nonprofits here in the Valley, just look them up and, they're more than glad to accept your donations and you distribute them to those people that need it out here in the Valley. And thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.